Hi and welcome to Top Tips Tuesday. This week's tips are for those considering their next investment purchase. So the top 5 things property investors should look for. So number 1 is location. So the location will depend on the property type. For example, if you're looking to purchase an apartment, then it needs to be close to the inner city, close to all the local amenities, dining, food, entertainment, all those things. Public transport are really critical. We don't want to be buying the apartment out in those further out from the main city areas. If it's a house you're looking to purchase for investment properties, there's a different level of requirements. Close to highways and transport into the work environments. Schooling, education, it may be more than likely rented to a family, so education is really important now. What most families, even if they're renting that property, they want to know that the school's close by within reasonable transport corridors. Very important. Shopping centres, all the local amenities that families would look for, and the number one thing is really population growth. That's what we're looking. So we're looking to buy in areas that are growing in population. The number 2 tip is on property yield, rental income. Very important, especially when we're facing these higher than we're used to interest rates. Rental yield. So always recommend that we calculate the rental yield on a property. Very easy. So a simple calculation is to take the annual rent and divide it by the purchase price. It's going to give us an idea of the gross rental yield. Then we need to take out all the annual property expenses, rates, insurances, property management costs, etc. If you're looking for a bit of a unique cash flow positive property, sometimes there's higher annual costs. So especially if it's short-term leasing or student accommodation, there is higher costs, cleaning costs, higher management costs, etc. So be aware of all those costs. Do your sums before you sign a contract. Number 3 is property condition. I think that's where a lot of first-time investors get really caught out. They buy an older property and really not aware of the maintenance. When you live in your own home, it's sort of one of those things you're used to and you just sort of cope with it. With an investment property, it's very different because you're not living in the property. So generally, you'll need to employ professionals, plumbers, drain layers, painters, all those other trades. So they can, for an older, high maintenance property, those costs can really blow out and really affect your cash flow. So getting a modern, low maintenance type property for investment purposes, very important. So take again your home buying hat off, put your investor's hat off, and you're looking for the maximum return on that investment. Number 4 is exit strategy. So when you're buying a property, think the long term, the next 10 or 20 years when you're going to sell your portfolio down at retirement, who's going to buy that property? And there'll be certain markets that attract certain types of properties. So just be aware of that and always ask those questions in the back of your mind so you can understand you haven't got a limited buying market when you sell that property down the long-term track. And number 5 is market trends. So we are seeing a changing in the demographic now. One of the big trends that we're seeing now is a lot more single people looking for more affordable, smaller room type accommodation. It's really a big shift over the last few years. I've seen it myself, my own investment properties. So don't think of what's happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Every family was a mum and dad with 2 or 3 children. It's very different now. So a lot of young single professionals, a lot of separated people. So there's a real target market for that. So be aware of the property that's going to attract the most amount of tenants and really present the property, if it is a existing or older property, the best pristine condition to attain the maximum rental yield, and also have a chat to the property manager as well, because they'll be aware of what the tenants are looking for in terms of the property condition, price point, etc. So property managers are a great source of knowledge for that last strategy. So hope that's really helped. Exciting times coming ahead for the property investment market over the next 12 to 24 months, and see you next Tuesday.